All right, it's your buddy, it's your pal, Mike Messier, and I'm trying out this new recording device. But I had a little observation today, and I'm just going to discuss it. I went to the gym, the YMCA to be exact, which I always recommend because when you belong to the YMCA in any location, you're allowed to go to just making sure I'm on this goddamn thing. It's hard for me to tell if I'm photographing myself properly, and there's fucking people walking around me as usual. And there are moments like this when I want to speak to my audience and not the humans that are in my same vicinity. But basically, this young woman, she was probably a college student, and blonde, probably the all-American girl type, very petite. And good for her for being in the gym, because she didn't look like a jock, you might say, or a soccer player. She looked like just probably weighed all of 90 pounds, 95 pounds, but she was in there lifting some pretty heavy weights. And I was impressed. But I have to say, and I know that I'm opening myself up for criticism, and I'm no spring chicken or man of the year myself, but what I noticed about this young person, and she was in gym appropriate attire, meaning like a tank top and shorts and stuff, but she had a lot of tattoos. Now I have a lot of tattoos, and ever since I started getting tattoos, and they are addictive, so I have empathy and sympathy for this whole situation, but I've kind of considered myself an expert on tattoos, meaning I know what I like, and I don't go to tattoo conventions or tattoo parties or whatever the fuck. And it's been a while since I got a new tattoo. But what I noticed about this young woman's tattoos was they were god awful, to get to the point. And I know that in this day and age, you're not supposed to criticize anyone or fucking make observations or pick on people. But she had some god awful fucking tattoos. And I want to explain why. Now, I'm trying to paint the picture of her as an extremely good-looking person, just like a very lithe, if that's a term, meaning thin, not voluptuous, not bimbo-esque looking. I mean, someone who looked like a woman from like a romantic novel from the 17 or 1800s, someone of that ilk, and just like a real nice girl next door type. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, well, wasn't that so radical for her to get all these tattoos? And look, I'm familiar with the suicide girls. I know that whole movement of what's going on 10 or 15 years ago at this point, of good-looking women getting tattoos, getting piercings and so forth. But she didn't really have that look. She didn't have that kind of, no offense to the suicide girls, but she didn't have that skanky suicide girl type of look or vibe, so to speak. She looked like a girl that would, work in the library and be a future PTA member or president. So moving forth in this discussion, or diatribe, what was the next point of contention? Basically, her tattoos sucked. And I want to explain, I hope I've painted the portrait that this girl did not need any tattoos. She did not need tattoos to either A, get attention, or B, be attractive. A lot of people get tattoos to stand out or to feel good about themselves. But on a purely physical level, this young woman probably didn't need to do that. Maybe she did in her own mind, but now she did not have tattoos that were, in my opinion, appropriate for her. And now someone's going to say, well, who the fuck are you to judge? I get it. But I'm going to judge, and I'm going to discuss it. Her tattoos, her back, she was wearing a very, like I said, gym-appropriate tank top, but her back was sticking out quite a bit through this thing. And basically, they were like skulls. And, like a collection of like 6 or 7 big skulls. Totally not fitting with what I perceived as a personality, but who the fuck knows? The other thing is she didn't have any facial piercings. Now, a facial piercing, a nose piercing, a nose ring, a pierced eyebrow, a pierced lip. She didn't even have pierced ears. So it was very interesting that she didn't have any of that stuff, but all these, you know, tattoos. The back, it was like a Brock Lesnar or like more so on the Brock Lesnar side of his horrible chest tattoo, but like trying to be Randy Orton style, if you know who I'm talking about, the wrestler with the skull tattoos, like trying to be Randy Orton, but coming off more in that Brock Lesnar, like, oh, this is like a really bad tattoo artist. Then, like in that, like underneath the skulls, there was either there or, see, her other section was like her arm. Her arm had a lot of tattoos. It just seemed like a hodgepodge, just a mess of different things. And I get it, because I've tattooed my arm, you know, like my left arm, you know, and I'm sharing and caring, but I've had to do cover-ups, I've had to do all types of stuff to get this to be where I want it. Maybe other people don't, but I'm a big guy, so it kind of works on me. No one really has ever complained, but I've had cover-ups, I've done that. But her whole arm was just like a hodgepodge of a lot of different things. There didn't seem to be one artist, which can be tough. If you go to different tattoo places and different artists have different color schemes, you really, as the tattooee, as the person with the ink, you have to kind of monitor that, and you kind of have to, nice view, you kind of have to get that to where you feel good about it. But she just had like a lot of clumps and etch-a-sketch. I call bad tattoos like etch-a-sketches. They look like etch-a-sketch, like horrible. The next part of the situation was she had that whole deal where between her knee and her upper part of her, you know, waist, I guess, like that area, that upper half of the leg, which is a good area, and you know, but she had like a lot of shit that just wasn't really focused, or it wasn't placed right. The placing of a lot of her tattoo work, in my opinion, was not good. It just didn't seem right. It seemed just kind of clumped in and just thrown in there. Then, you know, like I said, her arm was all fucked up, and just a deal where, I mean, you know, women with tattoos, I have no problem with that. In fact, I think that's great. But I guess this, if anyone's gotten through this video, not think I'm a total fucking asshole, which you might, but especially for the young women out there, guys, in my opinion, can get away with bad tattoos because you can just get shit covered up until you finally can live with it. I mean, I had a tattoo artist once, this guy named Ronnie, legendary Rhode Island tattoo artist, who he did some cover-up, I think, in that very location. And once he had done some cover-up stuff for me, he said, now you can live with this, you know, and that's what it's all about. You have to be able to live with this stuff and feel good about it. But for the young women out there who maybe don't have any tattoos or just starting to get some, the lesson for this, and look, you might say, well, fuck this guy Messier and fuck what he has to say, and I'll do what I want, you know, I'm rebelling. But for your own peace of mind, think about things like placement. Where is the tattoo being placed? Size was a big thing for this girl. Like her tattoos were way too big for her body. And like I said, she probably weighed 95 pounds. I mean, she was very petite. Like I said, a good-looking person who really didn't need any fucking tattoos, to be quite honest with you. Also, maybe she's into skulls, but these skulls were like one skull with like one red rose could have done the job of like these 6 fucking skulls with all these flowers, and they were black and white too, so the flowers weren't even colored in. Color is a big thing. Like for me, I have all these tattoos, but as you can see, I hold color very well for the most part, right? So for me to hold color well, I don't, you know what I mean? Like I hold color well. I'll show you the infamous Pillman, the Brian Pillman fucking tattoo. You know what I'm talking about? Flying Brian Pillman right there, man. So that's it. MikeMessier.com for all your Mike Messier needs, wants, and desires. Placement, color, theme. Like have a fucking theme of your tattoos. And if you don't initially, like get someone, like a really good artist to tie them in together. Like these clouds are my tie-in. All right, that's Mike Messier, Tattoo Talk.